So here we have the darkness, and he's showing us the collar that I put on him last night. So this is a way of keeping roosters, but also being able to enjoy your outdoors, particularly your indoors too, early in the morning. So roosters, like the darkness here, really enjoy making lots and lots of noise to warn the hens and me about threats. And so you would think, oh, that's a good idea. I like having a guard dog or guard chicken, but what this little 10-pound bird thinks is a threat is probably not the same thing that you would think is a threat, even to them. So this guy thinks squirrels are threats, changes in wind direction and speed are threats, lights clicking on are threats, dogs moving around in the yard even though they live with them just fine. So it gets annoying. It's a situation where it's chicken cries wolf, and they cry wolf like little dogs do. Yip, 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 all the time. Don't you, buddy? So I have a goose. Well, I have two geese. I have a male goose, though, which does a much better job. Doesn't he? Yeah, he only warns me of pretty serious threats, and he warns me that I'm outside. So Rooster's not so good. But since we have him, I wanted to show everybody some things. So this right here is a spur, and since we're a rooster, but we just barely. We're a teenager, and so our spurs are flat and short still. We got these big, huge dinosaur feet, though. I've got very, very big fingers, and so it's pretty impressive how big their feet are, and the claws on them are kind of impressive too, and they probably feel exactly like a dinosaur would. They're really neat. My wife hates them. But yeah, so they've got these dinosaur legs and a velociraptor talon if this guy makes it all the way to true adulthood like Hennis did. Probably will, unless I decide to eat you. No, probably not. He's a really pretty bird. Kind of a pain in my ass, but he's a pretty bird. But however, as a Jersey giant, if we were to feel his drumsticks, which is what I'm doing right now, they're not fully grown. So he looks like a really big chicken, and he's very, very large for a chicken. But they don't grow the meat portions that you kind of become accustomed to chickens in the store. And so, I mean, I don't know if you can kind of get a good idea how big he is. He's probably a 10-pound bird, but they're not plump like the chickens you see wrapped up from, a Tyson place. Those are all a chicken variety called, I think Cornish hens is what they basically are. They're a Cornish cross, and that's it's not like genetically modified in the sense that it was made in a lab. They cross a couple of different varieties of chickens in just the right way that they get a chicken that in 11 weeks or so can grow as big as this guy, but not with a frame size, so they're kind of plump. And that made it so that everybody could own a chicken dinner just about as often as they really wanted to make one. But it did rob us of some things. And I don't want to go all hippie on anybody, but the taste of chicken is absolutely not what you get in the store. That taste is the result of meat that isn't allowed to flavor up. And flavoring up means this chicken eats a variety of things. He runs around. He's not 11 weeks old. You wait until they're the size of this guy's dad, which is probably Hennis, and then you eat them, right? Now, I will probably do that to some of my chickens, but not all of them. They are primarily here as biologic exterminators. Huh? You're a biologic pest application, aren't you? Yes. And so, as a Jersey, he's really chill. I'm not like holding him down at all. I'm just holding him up, and he is just gonna sit here and let me do it. See, I can hold him away from my body and everything. He's not gonna freak out. He's not gonna go anywhere. That doesn't mean that he's happy to be here. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's the opposite, but they're fairly docile chickens. Even the roosters like this. And in fact, his dad, who got very aggressive with me yesterday, once I have him, I can hold him pretty much just like this too. I can hold him with one hand, and while he may struggle one or two times, he's not going to struggle without me knowing it. But this guy looks like he's trying to go to sleep on me. The darkness, are you tired? He had kind of a rough night. I think the string kept him from going where he wanted to, and so he had to sleep in a new tree, and he was kind of tangled in it too. So we're gonna let him go here and see if the collars are where they need to be. So catching this guy, since he's kind of skittish, is very difficult. It took me several attempts to catch him, whereas his dad, I caught his dad twice, and one of the times was on accident, just because he looked like this chicken here, and he was much easier to catch. But this guy here is skittish still. He's been fighting with everybody, which means he is ready to kind of take over as Rooster, but he's also very skittish around me and some of the larger hens and the dogs and the goats. He's still quite a bit afraid of things, like a child rooster should be. His dad's no longer afraid of me, obviously. He's not afraid of the dogs, he's not afraid of the goats, but he also just doesn't give a shit. If he decides that he wants to attack me, I outweigh him probably by quite a few pounds. I don't even know how much he weighs. I would guess I have a 10 to 20 fold weight ratio on me compared to him. So, yeah. What do you suppose your dad is, huh? Maybe he's 15 pounds? Nah, that sounds kind of heavy. I don't know. This guy here, he is nothing. But he looks like it. And that's one of the other things that, about these, ranch roosters. They look really big, but there's so much feather on them. I mean, you can kind of see it. They're very soft. And they're very skinny. You're very skinny, you know that? He looks away. So I think what we'll do is we'll release him again outside of trees. So let's see what he does. Yep, we're pretty chill. We definitely had a hard night though. What are you doing over there, little Muscovy? Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna lay down some more corn. You were walking all kinds of goofy. His leg isn't hurt. We saw it in the video, but he's walking goofy because he's pulling the rope with him, or twine. And that is just for probably the next 12 hours to make sure that his collar is on correctly. He is just so hard to catch. When my father was down here, my father actually, I guess, lived on a ranch. He did not talk about it very much, other than a story here and there, which maybe because he didn't want to talk about it and doesn't like it and doesn't want to talk about it, or maybe because ranch living was never something that I thought I was going to do, ever. I'm doing it now because, and that wasn't even the point. Coming out here was so that my family wouldn't be in the cancer that is modern cities, and have a little bit more room for my puppies to run around in. It definitely wasn't so that I could own tractors and farm animals and wild animals and stuff like that. But once we got out here, I don't mind spiders, and I'm not very scared of bugs, but if the spider looks crazy and is as big as my hand, I'm not so cool with that. And we have these things out here that I am scared of called red-headed centipedes. And we found one that was about the length of my arm, which is almost 2 feet. And I looked them up. They're not venomous like kill you, they're venomous like put you in pain for days. And I wasn't cool with that either, so we got the chickens, and what do you know? The mixture of Muscovies, ducks, chickens really knocked down the bug population. When we were first out here, I was walking around on my patio, probably the first 2 months, maybe 3 months we were out here, and I accidentally, in the dark, kicked a coral snake. If I had have been 1 inch further along, I would have stepped on it. And they're not aggressive, but they bite if you step on them, and I came within 1 inch of stepping on a coral snake. And they don't at that point in time, from what I understand, they did not have any anti-venom for that animal, and I would have lost my good leg or foot or died. So we keep animals, and that's the original reason why. We want to keep the bugs down, which should keep the small lizards and mice down, which should keep the coral snakes, rattlesnakes, and everything else out. And we have found, I think it's 3 rattlesnakes. There was several of them that I was not present for, so I know for sure that I've caught 2. And possibly a 3rd that was a baby that I think I got on video, my chickens eating. They're interesting creatures to keep, you know. You don't think of chickens as being something that would eat a snake, but I'm here to tell you that if it's the right size, chickens will eat it. And it will, it'll probably go fine. They actually fought over it. I was like, this is really interesting. What is this? And I set it down on the concrete over there, and 2 chickens came up. One of them came up, grabbed it by the tail, I think it was, beat it against the ground a couple of times, swallowed it whole. And I was like, what just happened? You know? And that chicken's fine. In fact, I think that was Pinky, our pink hen. Speaking of Pinky, let's see what today's haul is. Nope, those are just feathers. What else do we got out here? Nope, no eggs yet. Well, let's say we cut this one off and see what everybody's doing out there.